Okay, this poem is called Broken Wings. Now, I don't know when I wrote this, but I'm going to go ahead and try it out here. There comes a time in this crazy life when we have a want to touch the sky. Though here below we come to know the Lord gives us wings to fly. They come in different shapes and sizes, different strengths and levels of might. No matter how large or no matter how small, they are useful in the spiritual flight. Then comes along those difficult times when the devil tries to intervene, puts obstacles in the way to hinder our flight, causing an occasional broken wing. We call on the Lord, the giver of life, to mend wounds from the devil's snare. Thanks to the blood from the rugged cross, our sins Christ willingly bear. Don't be discouraged by a broken wing. Through Christ all wounds heal in time. Forgiveness of sin by Christ the Savior and friend is the purpose to this poetic rhyme. Okay, broken wings. Now, I wrote that a while back, and now that I've read it, I understand where it came from. It's because I was in jail at the time, I think, as a matter of fact. And I heard a song called Broken Wings, and my mom knows I like this song. Take these broken wings, learn to fly again. Anyway, that song, really cool. And since back then I was writing about any and everything, I would take titles of songs and I would write about them. I would take anything, one-word topics. A person say a word, I'm going to write about it, you know, that kind of thing. So, and just as years went on, I began to be more creative, or actually now I don't need someone to tell me a topic. I can already see the topic without words coming out, that kind of thing. You know, it's almost like typing. When I was typing at first, I was hitting text 1, 2, 3, 4, do. And I was looking at the keyboard, and then I stopped looking at the keyboard and I started to feel the keys out. Oh man, my first year I was the slowest person in typing. I was going, but I would never look at the keyboard. And if I did look at the keyboard, I would scar myself so much, or, you know, fringe on myself, be like, dang, I feel like I failed looking at the keyboard, even though my test scores wasn't that great or anything like that, and I was barely passing. I felt more of a failure by looking at the keyboard. So now, as years went on, 2 or 3 years or something like that, I had no problem typing. I mean, now I couldn't look at the keyboard, not because I was embarrassed or because I felt like I was a failure, but because every time I did look at the keyboard, I would mess up, some odd reason. So I didn't look at the keyboard. And my typing speed increased from, let me see, I went from like 20 words a minute. This is my second year of typing. I was at 20 words. And most people are at 40, 50, 60 words. To a point where once I started to really just start to get it, all of a sudden I couldn't forget it. And my hands were moving like they were making music. So the further I increased in reading, the more my typing would increase. And I understood the concept because I had my last test. I think it was like the last test when I saw that I was very fast. I was typing on a computer thing on a something, and it said it was like 80 words a minute, and I was like, oh shoot, I was tested out at 40 words a minute. You know what I'm saying? And this was at a place where I was applying for a job. And they had the old-fashioned keyboards, Panasonic, as a matter of fact. So the keys was like you hitting them, and it was electronic, so it wasn't that hard, but it was that different kind of feeling that you would get from a keyboard, like a computerized keyboard, where it's just tap, 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 tap. Okay, so I was like 80 words a minute on that. And I'm talking about error. Well, I think I made like 3 errors or something like that. So actually, the whole thing came out that I was like 60 words a minute, but my actual time was like 80. Okay, that sounds like something to brag about. Believe me, it's nothing to brag about because it was brag about back then. But once I got on a keyboard, computer keyboard, I got my own computer, and then I got into this writing thing and started typing. Now, I went and took a test, typing test. I think this was on a computer, as a matter of fact. I was up to 190 words a minute. 190. When my actual time was 210 or 220 or something like that. My actual time. But after errors and everything, 190. How in the world do you get 190 words a minute? I have no idea. Miss Maffitt could type that fast too, my typing teacher, who just knew I wasn't that great. But anyway, that's besides the point. Now, this next poem I'm going to read is called Checkmate, okay? Checkmate. Now check it out. It's called checkmate. I don't even know. I don't know. You'll find out.